Good morning, good afternoon, good night. This is Hannah Todd at Robbie D Wood, and you're listening to WRDW the Q. Today I'm joined by Jeff Beach, our new Director of Maintenance. How are you doing, Jeff?
Doing well.
You're doing good?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, appreciate you coming on today. I'm looking forward to helping our listeners get to know you a little bit better. And just take a deep breath. I know it feels like a hot seat, but it's actually lukewarm at best.
Yeah, it's something new, I'll tell you that.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you, and hopefully you'll be on many more.
Sure.
So why don't we start with you just telling us a little bit about yourself personally.
Originally from Athens, Georgia. Big Bulldogs fan. Lived there up until, I want to say 2016, and took a leap of faith and moved to Mobile. And decided I want to be closer to the coast, and the Atlantic side was the more tempting, but got a job offer, went down there and had fun. Had a lot of fun, and then made transfers, went back home, and now out here back in Alabama. So.
Mm-hmm. And you told me you got a farm.
I do. We have a farm out right outside of Athens, Georgia. Enjoy the life of the simple life and not having people close by. So being here in Birmingham is a little bit different.
An adjustment.
It definitely is. There's quite a few people,
Mm-hmm.
pretty close, but been enjoying every minute of it. Enjoying everybody's been so welcoming, so easy to work with, talk to.
So what's on your farm?
A lot of land, a lot of trees, a bunch of barns. Typical. We do chickens.
Mm-hmm. Are these laying hens or chickens for meat, or what kind of chickens?
Meat.
Meat chickens, okay.
Being close to Gainesville, Georgia is the chicken capital of the world. So,
okay.
We're being right there. We used to have horses. Thank God we don't have any of those anymore.
Hey.
It's just, they never tell you the cost.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The enjoyment, you get. But
maybe. Depending on what kind of horse you have.
That's right. And then all of a sudden, the bills start rolling in, and you're like, I don't think this is that fun. So.
Right, and there's no produce at the end. You know what I mean? Like, you're not selling a meat horse in America, at least.
That's right.
So.
But, then I've moved out here. I'm currently, trying to find a place and staying at long-term Airbnb. So I've tested the area, stayed at different ones.
Oh, really?
I have.
Okay.
I tried up around Irondale.
Yeah.
Or Avondale.
Oh, nice.
It looked pretty nice,
On Airbnb.
And I showed up. The new thing is staying in tiny houses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a pretty big fella, so staying in a tiny house is
right.
It's tiny already.
Yeah.
It's tinier when I get in it. So.
Yeah, it's a good in theory, but then when you get in a tiny bed, it's not so fun.
That's right. So it was an experience, and but
truck drivers everywhere are rolling their eyes. They're like, "You should get in my bed, in my cab."
I'm telling you. I actually have a CDL Class A. And
okay.
I've experienced it because so I know exactly what they're going through, and
Mm-hmm.
That day-to-day life, being out on the road, and it's definitely not for everybody. I can tell you, it definitely wasn't for me. So.
How did you get into CDL life? Or transportation in general?
I always say I just got into logistics.
Okay.
Because when I was in high school, I worked on, I worked on a dock, shipping, receiving.
Mm-hmm.
Worked at a race car shock company in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Pro Shocks. They were bought and sold and moved to, I think, Indianapolis, but worked there, worked on the docks in the summer, no no AC. It was fun, putting together orders, and truck drivers would come in, and I just looked at it and looked at the entire process and said, this is something I might be good at.
You can kind of see the puzzle pieces.
Yeah, I mean, you start putting things together. Okay, so we take this product, we put it in this truck, it goes to another point, they go and take it, sell it. I'm like, well, not being that smart, but I think I could do something like this. So worked at it, went to school, enjoyed school way too much, probably focused on things I shouldn't have.
Well, you got you an education.
That's
no
right.
Education is free, right?
That's right. I
don't know what's going on with this white light. We may not have one anymore, but that's okay. Keep going.
It's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
But after that, I thought my father's an attorney. I thought that was something I wanted to do. But to me, it kind of seemed redundant in a way. You get the same thing in and out day after day. And, for the most part, we do that too, but you also get some curveballs, which to me is, that's the exciting part. So interned, did all that, and decided that wasn't what I wanted to do, and went to CDL school and got a Class A.
Nice. So this was, you said you went on to get an education. So did you go to college and this was after college?
I did, yeah.
Nice, okay.
So went, got a Class A. I, no wife, no kids, so I was like, I get paid to travel the country and drive? All right, and it's fun, they sell it to you real good, I'll tell you. They say, oh, you get to travel the country, you get paid, you get to drive, all this. Well, some of it is, they don't tell you, there are a lot of places you can't take a big truck into.
Exactly.
And you also, the pavement here in Alabama is the same pavement up in Washington State as, it's the same in Alberta, Canada. So it made it a little bit difficult, but I was able to meet a lot of nice people. I did see, some great places. It's definitely an experience I wouldn't change. But decided that maybe being in the truck wasn't for me. And even my CDL instructor said, he even asked me, he's like, what are you doing here? Like, you're not meant for this. You're not built for this. He was like, you need to go back and really readjust your life, because I think you're built for something different. So once he said that, that just gave me the more determination to,
prove him wrong. Yeah.
So, but it's been great.
And there's nothing wrong with not being built for it, but there's also nothing wrong with being built for it. You know what I mean? Like, all the more respect you probably have for those who can just be a road warrior and grind every day.
Oh yeah, I mean, to me it's an art. It's a talent. You got to be able to leave really your personal life.
Yeah.
Go out there for weeks on end. You're providing for your family. You're doing the best you can for your company. That's a hard life to live. So
yeah.
I mean, all the respect, all the kudos.
Not to mention dealing with the four-wheelers.
Exactly. Dealing with people out there,
or anyone on the fuel island that just refuses to move their truck before they go in.
My absolute favorite humans were, especially the certain truck drivers, were the ones that would decide to take their 10-hour break, because I actually like to drive at night.
Okay.
So it made it easier, less traffic. I could get in and out, no problem. My favorite were the ones that took the 10-hour break at the fuel island.
Whoa.
When you're running at night, you want to get in, get out. You just want to, eat up miles, and that was the icing on the cake for me. I was like, are you serious? And you would drive, and there'd be parking spots. It's like, man,
Low down. I'm so glad that we don't have any of those guys here, or ladies for that matter.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, it was.
So when did you transition then from in the truck to under the hood, or maybe even in the office?
So I've done just about everything. After I got out of driving, I actually went and started. I was fortunate to get an opportunity with Tribe Transportation out of Gainesville, Georgia. The big selling point with them is, a Native American-owned female company, and they're great. To me, that they were, especially coming out of the truck and getting into the office, that is a great starting company. It's hard nosed. They'll teach you. They will. So it was a great learning experience, especially being in what they call the war room, which that's pretty much the only office they have. It seems like it's about 150 people in one room, and
so many logistics companies are like that too, though.
Oh yeah. So, I enjoyed it. It helped build a solid foundation to where I'm at now, and I worked there, and I finally, decided I need to look for a company that, I can be closer to the beach. So that was my plan.
You really like the salty air, huh?
I do. I was, I was like, well, I could go work, I could spend my weekends just hanging out and, going fishing and doing all these things. And so I fortunately was able to, get an opportunity with Greenbush Logistics out of Abbeville, Alabama, at their Mobile location for maintenance. And that's where the whole maintenance thing took off.
Okay.
And I'm glad it did. Being in operations is great, but I love maintenance. I love the aspect of it. I love everything that goes on, from the complexity of how an engine works to, working with the mechanics to solve problems, meeting with vendors, whatever we can do to better the equipment. It was just the perfect opportunity. So,
and probably being in the truck helped you realize how important all of those things are that you just mentioned.
It did. It also helped with the aspect of, the driver's point of view.
Exactly.
Because they drive it day in and day out. Roughly, if we might have our hands on it, 6 hours on a job. So to find, they're so used to it, and so just to find that one issue, and when we're just looking for X, Y, Z. So it was able to help, talk with the driver, get what are you experiencing, what are you feeling, that we might not be seeing. So we were able to find the problems quicker, but also find what was going on with how we could get a solution.
Yeah.
And limit that downtime.
Okay.
So yeah, just went to Mobile, spent right at a year there. Just worked. The thing with Greenbush Logistics, they're part of Great Southern Wood.
Okay.
Yellow wood.
Right. So is this wood chips, logs?
Lumber.
Okay.
I mean, from.
It's already been treated.
Well, we treat it.
Okay.
They treat it.
Right. I know what you mean.
But yeah, we would bring what they call white wood, untreated wood in, treat it and sell it.
So you were working basically with lumber yards and kilns and that type of thing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
So the maintenance not only had the aspect of a truck and a trailer there, but I got experience with maintenance on forklifts, maintenance on the treating plant, and and everything in between, which really helped. I was able to build a lot of great relations with people and make great contacts, and I still have a bunch of people who message me day in and day out saying, hey, how you doing? Or, around Christmas time, Merry Christmas, hope everything's going well. And I enjoyed every minute of it. I, being in that area, it was great. I got to experience everything I wanted. And after about a year, they came to me and offered me a promotion to be, it's probably one of the longest job titles ever, but I was the purchasing, inventory, and systems manager for Greenbush. So in that, over the maintenance. So they said, pack your bags, you're coming to the corporate office. So I went from Mobile, Alabama to Abbeville, Alabama.
Yeah.
And not sure if a lot of people have been to Abbeville.
Shout out to Claire Russell.
That's right. And I talked to her about a bunch of people that we know.
Oh, that's funny.
So
small world we live in.
Oh,
really small in Abbeville.
It is super small. And it was funny because the first week, I got settled in and, explored the town a little bit. And so I was talking to my parents and they said, so what's Abbeville like? We passed by it going to Panama City. You see the signs for Huggin' Molly's. What's it like? I said, it's hard to explain. I said, it's like you go into that town and it's like going in back in time into a time machine. They said, well, explain. I said, well, it's like going back to the 1950s. I'm like, and I wasn't even, even thought of. My dad was born 1950.
Yeah.
So, you go in and they have music playing in the town and it's all 50s
nice.
Music. All the buildings either are restored and have neon, or they have these like false fronts where it looks like it's occupied.
Oh, cool.
And so then there's cameras on like every 50 feet.
Wow.
So it's super safe. It all links to the police department. You can see, I actually went and toured the police department, and it all links right there. So I'm like, well, I guess
It's interesting. Very cool though.
Oh yeah, it is very cool. So worked there for about 3 years.
Okay.
Met more contacts, loved every second of it, being involved in the company and what I did there. And then my father got sick, so I big thing with me is, family. So I decided, I needed to go home. I tried to stay. I tried to do everything I could to stay with him and just work, either remote or out of the Conyers, Georgia location. But I wasn't, we couldn't come to an agreement, and I needed to be home. So
Hey, family first. We're all about that here.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest decisions, I'll tell you. And maybe it wasn't the right decision at the time, but I needed to go. So went home. Spent time with my father, my family. Worked for a company called Sharp Transit up there in their maintenance, and just did what I could and with what I had, and fortunately over about a year and a half, my father got better.
Nice.
He went into remission, so
good.
Everything worked out, and I finally sat down with me and we talked, and he was like, I appreciate you coming home. I appreciate everything you do. He's like, but you're an adult. You need to live for you. He's like, I said, yes, sir. So it was almost like destiny I'd gotten home from work. It was a tough day, and I think it was a Friday. So I don't know why, jumped on Indeed, and first posting was for Robbie D. So
Thank you, Indeed.com.
I'm telling you, that's it. That's we should get price break or something for promotion. But first posting, and I said, well, let me check it out. I didn't know if it was for a shop manager or something like that, and I built up. I figured with all the hard nights, the blood, sweat, and tears, I said, this is, if this is a director role, then, this is great. So I looked at it, and it was. So I immediately submitted my resume, and I started going through boxes. I was looking for my contact binder, and it's a bright yellow binder. It says Great Southern Wood Preserving on it, and I've got all my contacts in there. So I started digging, and I'm thinking, okay, this is a big company, what national accounts? Okay, they've got to use these, and so, and I've got, after working with these people, they were, contacts. So reached out to a couple of them, and I said, if there's anything you can do, if there's anything I ever ask, please put in a good word for me. So fortunately, I guess, they definitely helped and, put in good words for me. Got a call from Trey, and
That's awesome. There's something we can all learn from that as far as just like working your network, and
oh yeah,
that's the best way to move forward.
And I believe in working your network. I mean, like you said, I mean, the people you have, that's why you try to, at least I try to be as genuine as I can, and as friendly and just, as helpful, whatever I can do, because there's going to be a time where, yeah, you need me today, but I might need your help tomorrow. So
Right.
I definitely don't want to burn bridges. I don't want to do any of that. So I was able to call on those people, and they helped me, and I couldn't thank them enough. I got the call from Trey, and to say I was smiling just to even get the call, get a call from him, to set up an interview, it doesn't even do it justice. I called my dad, and I said, excuse me.
That's fine.
I said, Dad, I just got a call. So he goes, well, that's step one, son. He's like, there's a long process to this, so don't get too excited. He goes, because I don't want you to build up this confidence or this, frame of mind and just to be let down. I said, I won't. So
It's good, honest advice from old Dad.
yeah, he is black and white. I tell
That's
you,
cool.
He won't give me easy wins. I'll tell you that, which has been good. But sometimes I'm like, you just can't let me win one. He's like, nope. He's like, people don't give you stuff in life for free. So I said, okay. But it progressed. I got another call. I got called to come out and have an interview, and sat down with Trey and went home and thought I had a great interview. And I was like, man, I really just hope I get a call. Got a call back to come back, and I was able to sit down with Brett and Robbie D Jr. and Trey, and they said, "Oh, we'll let you know." I said, "All right." So I went home, and I think got an email the next day, and I was sitting in the kitchen, and I found the email, and I jumped for joy. I'm telling you, it was the best.
I would like to see you jump.
I'm telling you, especially with the bad leg right now. But yeah, I lost it, and so
That's cool.
it was funny because I got the news about it I think the same day my dad was holding his Christmas party for his office. So they wanted me to come, and I'm at their company Christmas party, their law firm Christmas party, and then my dad's like, "Hey, I got an announcement to make." I'm thinking, it's some standard. He goes, "No, I want to congratulate my son Jeff, on getting this job." And I was like, "All right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'll take it where I get it because
Yeah.
Pops doesn't give too many pats on the back, so keep it humble." So it was great. I came out here and everybody's been so nice. I mean, everybody. I mean, I can't say anybody, specifically, but realistically, everybody's been great. Been so helpful. Anything I've asked for, or had a question about. I mean, people have just gone through hoops to either explain it to me or, talk about it. So it's been great, and I think, hopefully, I think with a little time, I think, we'll do some great things here.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, for those who don't know, Jeff's been here since January 3rd, right? The 3rd?
Yep.
Yep, it was a Tuesday after New Year's Day. It was his first day here. So he's been here just a couple of weeks now, or I guess almost 3. Was yesterday 3 weeks?
Yep.
Yeah, so been here 3 weeks, has uncovered some stuff and seeing some low-hanging fruit, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
And for the sake of time, I know I asked you to come on one podcast, but we're already 26 minutes in. So what if we split this up into 2, and next week we talk about, some of the stuff that you see we need, we're doing well, we can do better, this is how we're going to get there, and hold that off until next week. Or would you rather keep going?
No, whatever works best for you.
Okay, well, let's do that.
Yeah.
And that'll give you a little time to chew on those questions I just previewed you to.
Yeah, that'll be good. Plus, you 2-part series, not too bad. So.
Stretch it out a little bit for both of us.
That's right.
Okay, well, this is going to conclude this week's episode then of WRDW the Q. I hope you've enjoyed getting to know Jeff as much as I have. And he'll be on next week when we'll be discussing more about his role with the company and how that's going to affect all of our listeners. See you soon.